and then when we start pulling around on the stage, it's a nice smooth effect. Okay, but this also repeats code, okay, because we've got the same code that's occurring down here as we have it up here. And if you had let's say 20 or 30 or maybe even 100 things on stage that were all based off of your stage alignment or size, then you're repeating a lot of code, cutting and pasting. So let's do this. Let's make a function out of these properties right here. All right, so I'm going to come up top of this. I'm going to write function, and then initial placement is just the name I'm giving this function. I'm going to do an opening and closing parentheses like so, then an opening and closing bracket. All right, and if I were to run this right now, our moon's back in the place where it was before, because remember what I was saying before about functions, they're lying in wait. Okay, we haven't actually called this function yet, but we're going to call it immediately just by, actually you can kind of cheat at this. You can just copy the function name with the parentheses down here, do a semicolon, save it up, and then publish it again. And sure enough, now we've got the moon back in place again. So this is all we had to do to call the function above here. And if you want a little note here, calls a function. And you could also put a little note. Let's say, let me put that bracket down there, and I'll just write sets up. Wait, sets up the function. Okay, make sure that's right. Okay, now let's copy this. Let's come down here to, let me tighten this up so everybody can see it. Let's come down to our stage resizing function, and all we need to do is just copy in that line again. All right, so it's just going to be calling that same function as before, and let's do it. Okay, let's make sure this works. All right, so now I can come up here and I can add or subtract any line to that, and it's gonna get called initially, and then it's also gonna get called anytime the resizing occurs. Well, let's put y'all to the test. What if I wanted to have our stars fade in when the moon basically rose to its position at the end? Okay, everybody want to think about that for a second if you feel like pausing the video. 3, 2, 1. Okay, here's the answer. What we're going to do is basically just make another motion tween. Okay, in this case, we'll probably call it star tween. Then we will immediately stop it because we don't want it to start by default, because we want to wait till the moon rises to fade in the stars. And to begin it, we will say something like star tween dot start, and we'll put that inside of this function right here. So let me kind of compress things a little bit. In fact, actually, if I just move that. Okay. So here we go. Let's copy this entire line. Just paste it down there. I'll change moon to star. Actually, our object name here is, our instance name is actually stars. And then for our property, we're going to change this to alpha. We can leave regular e's out if we want. We do want this start value though to be 0. Okay, because remember, based on the last lesson, we saw that the range for your alpha is 0 to 1, 1 being 100%. And just to change things up a little bit, let's make this 5, and we'll set this to true. And that way I can also put a little note here that says true equals using seconds. So 5 seconds. And then, like I was saying before, we want to write star tween dot stop. Oh, and look at that, there's some code hinting for us. Isn't that nice? Gives it a little bit of breathing room. Okay, I'm going to rename this function from do something to, how about start, or how about fade in stars. So it's a little bit more specific. It's only going to help you in the future if you're a little bit more specific about your function names. And believe me, if you call every one of them do something 2, do something 3, after a while you're going to forget what does what. Okay, so I just instead of using that yo-yo that I had before there, actually let me not delete it entirely. I'll just comment it out. I'm going to put star tween and then start, and I believe we're good to go. Let's try it out. All right. Let me do one more thing. I just want to move this around a little bit while the stars are fading in, just to make sure there's no issues with that. Okay, looking good. And, you know, of course, something you could also do as well is make it so that the height of the backdrop is based on the stage height as well. So height. Stage height. Which, there we go. So isn't that cool? Okay, last little bit of code. Let me come all the way down here and write it. Yeah, I just kind of want to throw this in here now, in case, I don't know, in case we don't have a chance to do it later. We're gonna write glow filter. All right, yet another type of variable. This one is gonna be a glow filter. Hey, look at that. It's going to equal new glow filter. And let me publish real quick just to make sure. Okay, well I didn't get any output errors right there, so I didn't need to. Oh no! Look at that. All right, well here we go. I stand in awe at the new Flash CS5. Before, you would have had to have imported in this statement on your own, and that's pretty neat. I did not realize that that was going to happen, so it's a surprise to me. Basically, it just detected that this guy's making use of a glow filter. Better go over here and throw in that import statement. So that is pretty cool. But if you are using a lower version of Flash other than CS5, well, you better come and copy in that line and throw it in there. Okay, so that's good. That's really cool. And again, we're just basically saying here that this is a new glow filter. It's not being applied to any object yet, but we can go ahead and set up some of the properties for this. And let's look at the code hinting here. Well, actually, it's not going to give us anything useful. We're going to write 0x, and then we're going to put in here a hex value for the color. And you can go just over here to your color swatch and just look at what's showing up over here minus the hash sign. So I just want to use white, so it's just going to be FFFFF like that. Using the color swatch didn't do anything for me there. I just wanted to take a look at those values. But FFF, we're going to write then glow dot alpha equals 1, then glow dot blur x equals, set this up to 55, so this is going to be kind of a big large blur, and do the same for the y. Actually, let's make one of them a little bit different. How about let's make this 75, so it's a little bit of a wider wider glow on the horizontally. And then all we have to do from there is write var filters array equals, oops, it's gonna be colon array equals new array, and then we put in here glow. And if you did have more than one filter that you were going to apply, let's say you had like a drop shadow as well, you could then put in here the other variable that you'd set up for the drop shadow. Okay, and these filters are all kind of set up very similar, and I'll give you a nice little hint of how to do that in just a second. But let's just go with new array glow, and then finally you come down here and you just write moon dot filters, and you make it equal to your filters array right here. So you just paste that on in there.